School ain't open.
I want to see a teacher named Marlowe.
School ain't open.
Third floor. Marlowe? I wanted the boy to see for himself. I didn't want him just to take my word for it.
I'm going to do it. It's just that it's a very difficult thing to do. I've never changed a mark before.
It's easy. You just pick up that pencil and cross out the mark you've got there and put in a new one. Takes 10 seconds.
I'll do it. I'm going to do it.
It's been a long time since I sat at one of these. I remember you, teacher, sitting at the desk in front of us, and everything you ever said to us was law. I remember you. Silence! 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 You! How do you spell dog? D-O-G. That's how you spell dog. How do you think you are, a god? Because you know that D-O-G spells dog and C-A-T spells cat? Son? Now you look at him. You look at him and see him for what he is. Not much, is he? Just a little man, owned by me. Isn't that right, Mr. Marlowe? I own you?
Yes, I'm going to do it.
It's all right. Just take your time. That's right. Abraham Lincoln, Teddy Roosevelt, George Washington. What are you crying about? That's the way it is. That's the difference between being a kid and being a man. When you're a kid, everything is great. When you're a man, you know that if you look behind the outside, everything is crummy. When you're a man, you have enough guts to look past the outside. What are you crying about?
What's the matter, son? Do you want any help?
Nothing.
Oh, come in, Clifford.
I have to have a passing mark.
That isn't a passing paper.
Please?
Why?
I have to pass.
Why?
Because my father's going to lose custody of me.
If you don't pass?
Yes, if I don't pass.
This isn't a passing paper.
Don't you understand? This is going to be a black mark against my father. My aunt's going to take me away from him.
I'm sorry. I don't know why you failed to pass this test, Clifford. You're bright enough to pass the test with a little work. How old are you?
12.
Then you're old enough to have a sense of responsibility.
I'll do anything you want me to. I can get a lot of money from my father. I'll give it to you anytime you want me to.
Clifford, you'd better face the fact that the world is full of consequences. There's no way you can avoid them.
Drink coffee?
No, thank you.
What are you raiding? Where you inherited money?
That'll be today. Kid's father hasn't come for him yet, huh?
Not yet.
Lieutenant in?
Yeah?
Anybody with him?
Adam and a guy from the DA's office.
Look, it's a matter of political expediency.
I don't care about political expediency. And you mention that to me again, I'm going to bury you into the ground up to your neck.
You guys on civil service give me one swift pain. You're sitting there with your tenure and you can talk big. I make one mistake and I'm out of a job.
There's a 12-year-old boy sitting out there who needs help, and he needs help now.
And I'm going to give him all the help I can give him. I'm going to march him right down to the children's shelter. And he's going to sleep in a warm bed with a nice roof over his head. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to march him right into children's court. And he's going to be shown the same treatment that any other 12-year-old kid in this city would get.
Any other 12-year-old kid we'd get together with his parents, and that boy would be home sleeping in his own bed tonight.
Any other 12-year-old kid hasn't got a gangster for a father named Clifford. What do you want me to do? If I treated the kid the way you want me to, every paper would play it up I gave favored nations treatment to a gangster's kid. Ipso facto, I'm on Clifford's payroll. What do you want me to do?
Adam, the fact of the matter is, the boy should have been brought here in the first place. We have no right to hold him in the precinct. He should have been transferred to the shelter the minute he was brought in here.
Adam, it's 3.5 hours since we called his father. He could have been here 8 times if he'd have cared enough.
Come on, Frank, stop loading the issue. The man wasn't at home. They told you that. What do you do when you go out? You call in every hour and check in?
Police capture 12-year-old. We're damned if we do, and we're damned if we don't.
We're having him transferred to the children's shelter.
Look, do you think I like this thing any better than you do? The man's got a big temper.
He cares big. We like him.
No offense.
Pack the boy up.
Yes, sir.
You don't hear me say this very often, but it's hard to know what the right thing to do is in this case.
Let's go, son.
I'm waiting for my father.
I'm sorry, kid. It's time to go now.
But he won't know where to find me.
Oh, yes, he will. We'll tell him.
Please, I don't want to go.
Be a big boy, huh?
We're just going to take you down to the children's shelter, kid. You can get some supper down there.
Well, I don't mind missing supper.
Come on.
The sergeant at the police station said it would be all right if I came here, that I could see the boy.
Are you a relative?
No.
Who are you?
Who am I? I'm one of the most unimportant men in the world.
To the boy.
Well, I'm his teacher.
Iris, is the Clifford boy asleep? He's got a visitor. No. Send him down to the lounge. She's sending him right down. You can wait in the reception room.
Thank you. I'm sorry I was very angry this afternoon when you tried to bribe me. I thought to myself, there's a boy who's being corrupted. Boys don't get ideas like that out of their own heads. Have they notified your parents?
My mother's dead.
Your father?
Don't you know who he is?
No.
Do you ever read the newspapers? Did you ever read about Phil Clifford the gangster? That's my father.
I see.
So, now you know why I tried to bribe you.
I'm sorry I didn't listen this afternoon. You were trying to tell me something about your aunt.
My aunt. My aunt is like you. She thinks my father's a bad influence on me. She's got my cousin. My cousin's a lawyer. They keep taking us into court. They keep trying to prove my father's a bad influence on me. They get subpoenas, and they bring my marks into court to show the judge, so they can prove my father's a bad influence and take me away from him. That's my aunt and my cousin Melvin.
You love your father very much, then. You got angry because you thought I was helping them take you away from him. Sit down, Clifford. I'm not very much in the scheme of the world, Clifford. Other men have far more importance. But I constantly remember when I stand up in front of a class of 35 children, everything I say, everything I do, shapes the world 20 years from now. I would like to take you in my arms and say, boy, here is the finest mark there is, so that you won't be taken away from your father. But if I do that, I poison you with a lie. Because if you go through life expecting things to be given to you if you ask for them pitifully enough, then you'll be defeated time after time after time. I love all the children in my classes, Clifford. I try to give them the only gift I have in my power to give that's worth anything. I try to give you all a sense of stern honesty. Stern, uncompromising honesty. I try to give you a sense that you're responsible for your own life. Can you understand that, Clifford? I want you to grow up and respect yourself. I came to say that you have a right to be angry. But don't be angry with me. Be angry with yourself.
What are you crying about?
Why didn't you come for me?
What?
And they sent me down to the children's shelter.
Did I get you out? Did I send my lawyer down there to get you out? Did I forget you? As soon as I found out you were in trouble, I sent somebody down there.
Why didn't you come for me, Dad?
Oh, I told you 100 times. I had to make myself scarce. I had to hide out from a subpoena. I didn't know you were in trouble for 24 hours.
He came for me.
What do you know about the complications of my life? I have my own ways of watching out for you. What do you think he's going to change your mark for? Because he wants to, because I'm making him change it? Now, you ask him, who owns him? 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 Think that was easy? You know how much time I put in on him? Was I doing it for myself? I was doing it for you.
Mr. Marlowe? Compliments of Mr. Clifford. Could he speak with you? He's in the car here.
My son told me you came around to see him the other night. I want to thank you.
I felt an obligation.
I'd like to thank you in some material way, Mr. Marlowe. I'd like to sweeten your life a little.
Thank you.
Let me drive you.
I'm not going anyplace.
Give me the pleasure of your company. Can I tempt you? You're afraid of money. Like some men with whiskey. They don't want to touch it because they're afraid they can't stop. Come on, let me tempt you.
Your son tried to bribe me to pass him. Did you know that?
No, he didn't mention it.
I have a theory about where children get their ideas.
Ideas float around in the thin air. Kids walk around and breathe, and there's the ideas.
They walk around the house and pick up the ideas their parents dropped.
Follow me. You told me off pretty good. I accept the criticism. I'm a human being too, Mr. Marlowe. You did something nice for my son, and I want to thank you. Anything wrong with that?
It's not necessary.
Well, maybe not to you, but to me it is necessary. I've been thinking what I could give you without offending you. Why don't you spend the day with me?
Why?
Well, I'll show you a world you know nothing about. I'll take you on a guided tour into another world. What's the matter? What's the matter with that proposition?
Trying to think what it might cost me.
Did you hear me asking for a piece of your soul?
Not yet.
Nobody's alive without taking some chances. How about it? You read about me in the newspapers that I'm a crook, a gangster, and something evil. You see something evil in making clothes? Fine clothes? If this man ever comes in here, give him exactly what he wants. Charge him what it costs us. All right, take a look. When I was a kid, I looked around and I saw all the buildings. And I said to myself, someday I'm going to own them. But I'm not going to wait until after they're built to own them. I'm going to own what built them. Let's get in the car. Must be tired.
Very interesting day.
We're not done yet. I've only showed you my day businesses. Now you'll see my night business. Very nice. Why don't you take one home with you? I hope you had a good day.
Sincerely, thank you very much.
Why don't you let my driver take you home?
Oh, thank you. I'll take the subway. Night.
Good night.
Mr. Clifford sent me. He said to read the card.
Is your name really Helen?
It is now, Mr. Clifford says. That's some sort of inside joke, isn't it?
There's a play about a schoolmaster who made a contract with the devil. In exchange for the man's soul, the devil promises him anything he wants. He just has to ask for it. One of the things he asks for is the most beautiful woman in the world, a lady named Helen of Troy. What do I do with you?
Untie my ribbon. Have a drink with me. That might be nice.
I'm afraid I'll have to send you back to Mr. Clifford.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yes, it is. It's too bad.
Do you mind untying me?
Oh, of course.
Have you got a cigarette?
I'm sorry.
Oh.
How will you get home?
I'll grab a cab.
It's very cold out.
No problem. Mr. Clifford was very explicit. He said if you want me to go away, go away.
Does he own you?
Somebody owns everybody.
Oh, no, that's not right. People are free. The history of the human race is a struggle against being owned. It's not right for you to think of yourself that way. No one can just send you here or there or say, go and see so-and-so. It's not right.
If you say so.
Well, I'm going to give you my coat. I'm certainly not going to let you go like that.
How do you want me to get this back to you?
Well, I guess you can send it parcel post.
Good night.
Good night. Tell Mr. Clifford I said thank you. Miss, may I offer you something to eat?
Thomas Jefferson. Chester V. Arthur. Who remembers a president named Chester V. Arthur? Tippecanoe and Tyler, too. You don't keep your presidents in any kind of natural order, do you?
I'm going to do it very quickly now.
Dad, please tell me he doesn't have to do it. I don't care if I fail anymore. I just don't care anymore.
What do you want to do? Let your aunt take you away from me? You heard me lie in that court, didn't you? Not for nothing. Now, come on. Don't lose your nerve. You're going to turn that lie into a truth.
Well, Counselor, you're going to have to present some pretty strong arguments before separating a boy from his natural father, particularly when the other parent is deceased.
But, Your Honor, the basic consideration is the boy himself. And there's plenty of precedent for separating an offspring from the parent in order to protect the child.
All right, well, that's what you're going to have to prove, Counselor.
Detective Flint?
Yes.
I'll talk to you a few minutes. Your Honor, may I have a few minutes to talk to this witness?
All right, we'll take a short recess.
Who's that?
That's a detective. I saw him down at the police station.
This is Alan's aunt, my mother. Detective Flint, mother.
How do you do?
How do you do? Now, you actually had Alan at the precinct for 5 or 6 hours that day, is that right?
Yes.
Well, that should give you plenty of time to observe him. Can you make a general observation about his state of mind?
I'm not a psychologist, Counselor.
I'm not talking about psychology. I'm talking about the human being as a person. Would you say he was happy or unhappy?
Counselor, how do you think you would feel if you were arrested? You think you'd be very happy?
Listen, Mr. Flint. You must think we're very strange kind of people to try to take a boy away from his own father. I know the boy loves him. His father probably loves the boy, that's true. But in what way? To give him money, to dress him in nice clothes, just those things. And as soon as the boy gets old enough, he's going to make him into an image of himself. Without honesty, without pity, without faith.
All right, Mother, don't get upset now.
We've been in a dozen courts. He beats us in one court after another. But I'm not going to give up. I'm not a rich woman, but I'm a decent woman. I can make a decent home for that boy.
Order's in order.
I intend to prove that the child, Alan Clifford, is, due to his environment at home, under an emotional stress which has caused him to act in the manner of a juvenile delinquent. I'm going to prove that the attitude of his father is reflected in the child's attitude toward his schoolwork. That is, he's doing poor work, actually failing, which is inconsistent with his ability.
You got your report card
No,
yet?
sir.
And the marks aren't in yet, are they?
No, sir.
You tell the judge he's lying.
Dad, I haven't looked at one.
You tell the judge he got an A.
Dad, I'm kidding. You can't tell them that.
You tell him what I said, you understand?
Dad, I've looked.
Tell him I can prove it.
Your Honor, I challenge Mr. Short's
And I'm
facts.
going to request this court remove the child from his father's premises and transfer him to an environment and a household more suitable to his own
Your
real
Honor, he got an
needs.
A. He's got an A, Your Honor, an A.
Come on now, gentlemen, come on. Let's have a little decorum.
Now, it's very easy to make allegations without proof, and I...
Your Honor, I don't come to a court of law to make statements out of thin air. I plan to prove what I'm talking about.
I'm all mixed up, Mr. Marlowe.
It's very difficult. I know it's very difficult for you, Clifford. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to change the mark.
When I first asked you for passing mark, you said I had to take the consequences. I thought you were right. Why did you change your mind?
Go on, tell him. Tell him why it's right. He looks up to you. Go on, tell him why it's right.
Because you don't want your aunt to take you away from your father.
50 cents to anybody who knows McKinley's first name.
You're just saying what my father told you to.
You bet your sweet life he's saying it because I told him to. You bet your sweet life. You can bet his sweet life. You bet that when I tell him to jump, he jumps. That's one thing you have to learn, Alan. There are two kinds of people in the world. The ones who own and the ones who get owned. The ones who say when to jump and the ones who do it.
Hey, Pop! Pop, where are you? Come on, let's twist.
Friends, Roman countrymen, this the base that launched 1,000 ships. Come, Ellen, give me a kiss. Your lips suck forth my soul. See where it flies. Give me back my soul again.
Come on, Pop, let's twist. Come on.
Get them all out and make some coffee.
The man says the party's over. Everybody go home.
I think that's enough.
Mr. Marlowe, it's very important to me that my son get an A for the term.
He didn't do any work.
So what?
I have the grades, you see, in my record book. That's what I have to go by when I make out the report card.
Does he like you?
He likes me.
Good. Mr. Marlowe, I'm going to ask you in a nice way. Will you give my boy an A?
I can't.
Explain to him how lonely he's going to be. And then get out. And don't come back.
That's how lonely it's going to be, Pop. There's no more where that came from.
Ellen?
Pop.
Helen, I love you.
I know.
Helen.
It's been nice, Pop.
He doesn't own you. I love you. I love you.
Come on, Pop. Be a man.
Helen, please. Please don't be dead. I killed her. Help me.
Help you what? What do you want, a lawyer? Want to go to Mexico? Tell me, I'll do it. Want me to wrap her in concrete and drop her in the river? I'll do it.
Help me.
Help you think, help you live, help you breathe.
Couldn't there be some way in which no one would find out?
And then on Monday morning, you go to your classroom, and your eyes are clear, your face is like Abe Lincoln, honest Abe Lincoln. And you say to your kids, you be like me. I'm your teacher. I'm an honest man.
I don't want them to know me as a fool. Or a murderer. I'll change the boys' marks. And hey, I'll do it this morning.
It's nice. I'll arrange things. Now you belong to me.
Mr. Marlowe, I don't want you to change.
It's only a little pencil mark, Clifford. It'll help your father not to lose you.
I wasn't talking about the mark, Mr. Marlowe. I don't want you to change.
That's too late, though.
Go ahead.
You're the only person I know who doesn't lie.
The only person he knows that doesn't lie. Go on, tell him.
Because I killed somebody. Your father won't help me unless I change the marks.
I told you. When you're a man, you know that when you look behind the outside, the inside is crummy. Every single time.
If my father doesn't help you, what will happen to you?
I'll be arrested. My picture will be in the paper.
And I'll be tried for murder.
Please let that happen to you then.
Where are you going? To the police.
Dad! I'm gonna live with Aunt Beatrice anyway. But if you hurt him, I'll never speak to you for the rest of my life.
I want you to feel the pain I feel when I know my son is a fool.
I sat here with her all night. I covered her, put the pillow under her head. I guess I must have thought she might revive. I don't know.
Homicide, please.
I never really knew who she was. She told me her name was Helen. I don't think that was her real name.
There are 8 million stories in the naked city. This has been one of them.
This has been a Screen Gems film presentation from Columbia Pictures.